Good morning, happy September. What a gorgeous day. I'm assuming we're gonna have a beautiful fall, fingers crossed. Today's reading is quite kind of fitting because I feel like September is the new year for all of us. Even though you might be an adult and not have a child in school, September always reminds me of going back to school, and that's something just like Sunday nights feel like that for the rest of my life, even if I'm not going to school in the fall. Today's reading is finding quietude. So finding quiet in the middle of this time of year when things can be busy, as we get back to our schedules, as some programs open up and maybe you do shift a little bit more into the normal life that we used to know. Regardless of what might be happening in the outside world, we can find a certain calm and stillness within. Quietude is a quality that we can nurture and grow through our yoga and meditation practice. The movement of our bodies during yoga practice helps us to relax. The practice of meditation helps us to focus or sharpen our minds. With these two practices are part of our daily lives, they help maintain our inner equilibrium. Yin and yang, black and white, dark and light. So that we have a place to go when the outer world is loud and disruptive. Our yoga and meditation practices are the gardeners of our quietude. So sometimes people are overwhelmed by the idea of mindfulness, meditation, how do I slow down my life? So there's kind of two things that people often say. I want to do yoga. I want to meditate more, be quiet and calm, and I want to be more flexible. The physical practice, the asana, helps us achieve a body that is capable of sitting in stillness. It also helps quiet the fluctuations of our mind. So movement equals quieting. Kind of seems like counterproductive oxymoron. I like to try to do a mix of both because yes, I'm attracted to movement, but my mind obviously needs to sit quieter. So let's sit in sweet seat, cross-legged. I'm going to move a little bit further back, and you might choose to sit on your knees, or you might choose to sit on with crossed legs, or you might choose to stick your legs out in Dandasana. Whatever way feels best in your body. There's no two practices that are alike. I'm going to sit back nice and straight. Because I'm often curved forward with my technology, and I find the smaller the technology, the more we're curved forward, I replicate that shape even when I'm sleeping. So I want to take it back to a neutral spine. Head stacked over my shoulders, nice and straight. And if you have a mirror you can do in front of, that's even better to see what does a straight spine look like. I'm going to hold my knees to corral my energy downwards and maybe sit back a little further so it feels foreign in my body, but this is a proper posture. Maybe your hands are open if you're feeling sluggish and you need some energy today. We're just going to do 10 breath rounds here. Your eyes might be closed. Shut out all the distractions, or you might do half closed eyes, kind of almost squinting and staring at something straight ahead from your eyes. Take a big breath in. And when you're at the top of that breath, exhale through the mouth. We'll do this part 3 times. Big breath in and let it go. And one more time, big breath in and let it go. Keep the eyes closed and keeping that energy going inwards. And continue breathing in and out through the nose. And I'll guide you. Normally I try to do it in your own head, but some people are comforted by me telling you when to count and when to breathe. Inhale 1 to capacity. Exhale. Pause. Inhale 2 to capacity. Pause and exhale. Pause. Inhale 3 to capacity. Pause and exhale. Pause. Inhale 4 to capacity. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale 5 to capacity. Pause and exhale fully. Pause. Inhale 6 to capacity. Pause and exhale fully. Pause. Inhale 7 to capacity. Pause and exhale. Pause at the end. Inhale 8 to capacity. Pause, exhale. Inhale 9 to capacity. Exhale. Pause. And last breath. Inhale 10 to capacity. And exhale. Taking your hands to the floor, let's just lean back enough so that you can undo your legs. We're going to flip our legs to the left, coming into the position of mermaid, but I'm going to start with my body leaning back. For some of us, this is easier on our hip. If we were to x-ray our hip, that bowl is the hip, and this is the femur coming to it. Not all of us have a smooth flowing hip. Some of it we were born that way, and some of it's a lifetime of our activities or our samskaras. So I'm going to gently press that left knee down, and I might even lift my hip a little and press the bum back down. Oh, I'm feeling twinges elsewhere in my body. We haven't done much movement yet. And that twinge reminds me of the interconnectivity between each part of my body. So I'm going to lift the hip up. It's too much, so I'm not going to stay too long, and come back to center. Let's flip our legs to the right, but I'm leaning back. I'm gently pressing that right knee to the earth. Maybe lift your hip a little and come back down. I'm not going to do a lot here because I haven't done much movement. We're going to come back to the floor. And then coming back to center. Let's come onto our backs, bringing your bum towards your heels, and slowly, mindfully lowering the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Keeping your chin to your chest ensures that our neck and spine fully lay down, and finally our head. I'm going to take my arms to a T, spread the fingers, anchor the nails, and let's actually walk your feet as wide as the mat. Let your thighs come to touching, and possibly your knees touch. And you may feel a deep tugging. I'm feeling in my inner thighs and the front of my quads. That's an internal rotation. This is the opposite, especially in a female hip. Normally throughout the day our body externally rotates. So it's kind of good to feel, again, a twinge of not the conventional. I'm not feeling what I normally feel. It makes me aware of different parts of the body, and then open wide. And then come back to center. Let the thighs touch. So tight. And what's funny is really notice your hip. If normally your dominant hip is tight, I'm noticing my non-dominant is tight. I'm going to open wide again. And once more, thighs and knees come to touching in the center, internal rotation of those hips. And then open, and then a nice little gift is to do the opposite, counter pose. Soles of the feet together. Can you do that without looking? That's going to help our proprioception. We're always trying to work our body parts with each other in my mind's eye without relying on my vision. Knees fall wide, external rotation of the hips. And what do you notice? How does that affect your thighs and your lower back? Maybe you want to massage where the thighs and hips connect. Maybe you want your arms wide. So I think of myself as like a lily pad, nice and open. Two more breaths. And then we'll close our legs. Let's walk our feet as wide as our mat once more, and now we'll do our windshield wiper. So knees fall wide to the left. And I want you to notice any hesitation in your body right now. I'm feeling a lot of hesitation in my left hip, left thigh as my knees go to the left. And then let them flip over to the right. How does that feel? Does one side feel more natural in your body or your range of motion? Knees to the left. Oh, yeah. Knees to the right. I want you to smile. It's another beautiful day. I love this cheesy, corny meme that says, did you open your eyes today? That was the first gift, your eyes, your vision, and your breath. Let's take our knees to as low as it feels good on the left, and take the arms behind you. You might even grab one hand and lengthen. Almost like you're stretching, just waking up. You might even lean to the left. Oh, there's a deep stretch down the right side ribs and a little to the right. Back to center. Keeping your arms behind you, we'll take our knees last time to the right. As low as they naturally want to go, especially pressing that left knee towards the earth. Deep stretch down the left thigh and hip. And I'm going to lean to the right, stretching my left rib cage, and then back to the left, and then release. Let's do one more reclined cobbler. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, arms out to the side. And let's come into cactus here, if that's available to you. Arms are bent at the elbow, palms turned up. Now we often will do a certain action sitting up. Let's slide our hands to come to make that triangle above your head. We do this sitting up usually. I'm pressing my thumbs together and my fingertips together. I call this my Illuminati, this little triangle. And then come back to cactus. And then, oh, without popping your chest up, can you bring your inner biceps to your side body? Open, make the triangle above your head. Come back to cactus and back to side body. And this is really hard on my body without popping my ribs. And then back to center. Cactus. We'll do one more variation here if your hips are okay. Arms are cactus, palms spread. Can you bring the arms together? Bring your elbows and inner forearms together, palms press, and then open. Keep those hands flexed. So we usually do this sitting upright. What happens when you're sitting up is your body can fall into all kinds of habits again, especially in the spine. When I do it on the floor, there's nowhere to go to cheat. So bring the hands close together, close the gate. So, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms press into each other. Flex and open. And let's do that one more time. Flex the palms, close the forearms, elbows close, forearms close, wrists, palms. Not everyone's going to have this range of motion. And then shake it out. Left thigh to chest, then right. Rocking side to side, little boat. Now initially my thighs don't want to come close together. That's because I have wide hips. I'm going to press them together, flex the feet, press the arches together, pull the knees and thighs into your belly, and guess what? We're coming into double leg wind relieving pose. The goal would be, how much can I pull the thighs into my belly, compressing my organs and my digestive organs? And for some of us, this is more attainable in our body than an actual child's pose. Option to walk your hands down the shins and pull them in. And you could point and flex here, press the lower back down. That feels delicious. Now I'm going to take my hands to my knees and stir them, egg beater. We're continuing to work on the hips. Franca asked, could we do hips today? So this is for you. Happy September. Some of you are coming back after a summer of lollygagging. And I'm going to pull the knees wide once more. Let's do wide double leg wind relieving pose. So my palms hold the knees, press the lower back down. That might feel juicy. Maybe you walk your hands down your shins and pull them in. And I'm going to close my legs, help those knees come all the way to the floor on the left, double leg spinal twist. Right arm open. So in this variation, I want to make sure that my knees are fully grounded, hips are stacked, knees are stacked, flex feet are stacked. Then here's the shoulder piece. Flex the arm, flex the hand, answer the question. And slowly open it towards the mat. Well, some of us, the shoulder's going to come all the way to the mat. This is a nice hard opener in the back of the spine, upper body. Great if you're on a desk. If my arm doesn't fully come to the mat, you could turn your palm down, you could come into cactus, you could put a folded towel underneath that right arm or shoulder. Let's do 3 breaths here. Check in with your body. Where's the tugging or stretching the most obvious? When I do this pose, I feel it in my lower back. This is really good for sore lower back. And then help yourself come all the way to center. Can you keep those thighs touching? Little boat or circles. Now we'll take both of our knees to the floor on the right. Stacked knees, stacked ankles. Left arm answer the question. Reach up, shoulders way off the mat, and then slowly open. Oh. And each time I breathe out, I want 2 things. I want to release, I want to surrender this shoulder to the floor, but I also want to notice where my body doesn't want to surrender. Imagine you could breathe deeply into that area, expanding your range of motion up there. I can feel it. This side is much tighter for me. And then help yourself come all the way to center, thighs still touching. circles, or little boat, or egg beater. Before we come to the next pose, we're going to shake it up a little. Hands pull the knees as wide as it feels good. Let's pause here. My ankles are dangling. I'm using the hard floor to press my lower back into. Can you flex your feet here and come into cactus? So now I'm in a variation of frog. I'm basically on my back. I'm not pressing into the floor with my inner knee, so this is less painful for some of us than frog. Now I'm going to take my hands behind my thighs and pull those thighs towards my side body. Now I'm getting the feeling of a squat without hurting my knees. Option to let the feet come over the knees. Option to try to grab a little higher up. So we haven't done a lot of hip work. Be kind to yourself. Oh, this happy baby is not happening. I just wanted you to feel it. Choosing stillness. Or rocking side to side slowly. Maybe this is your moving meditation today. Can you find a rhythm? I was just reading for our vestibular, our inner ear, that we should be doing somersaults and rocking and dancing and things where our head is upside down more often to keep that inner ear balance, the crystals inside there. What happens is I hear a lot of people get vertigo, and often it's happening as we age or we're in a sedentary job. So, I'm not asking you to do a headstand, but just be cognizant of doing things upside down. As we age, we stop doing those fun things. And then find bringing your soles together. Press your lower back into the floor. Take a pause here. This feels delicious in my back. Some of you are going to bind around those blades. Some are going to hold your ankles. Big breath here, pressing the lower back into the floor. Keep feeling that resistance. And then releasing our feet to the floor, we're going to come back into that reclined cobbler or bound angle. I notice my hips are not wanting to really open, so I'm going to be pause and be patient. Arms into cactus. We'll take 3 breaths here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Each exhale, can you let go of a little tension, the knees fall wider. Inhale 2. Exhale. And inhale 3. Hear that beautiful ocean noise inside your head. Big breath in. And exhale. We're going to slowly close our thighs. Thighs to chest, little boat or circles. Okay, now I really want to do our single leg wind relieving pose, which is going to lead us to other poses. So my knees are bent. I'm going to bring right thigh in, hands interlacing on the shin or behind the thigh, whatever feels good. Slowly slide left leg straight. If this is uncomfortable, keep it bent. Or slide it straight. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to pull the right thigh in, left heel on the floor. Another variation of this is you can do it on a, actually, I'm going to show you it on a block. We do this often in class. But I could also do it on the edge of a bed. Same issue. So I'm going to elevate my hips as I draw it in. Left leg dangles. The dangling is going to get a little deeper into my psoas and my hip. Maybe this becomes your practice on the bed before you go to sleep at night. Oh yeah, the more you can let go. Dangle that left hip, left heel. And then switch. Right foot on the floor, left leg in. You can use 1 or 2 blocks or the edge of your bed. Right leg extends and dangles. Keep the shoulders squared off, hips squared off. You want to keep that left ankle in line with the left knee. Oh man, this side is way tighter. What did I do? And then let's put both feet on the mat. I'm going to get rid of these blocks. Come back down, back to our regular single leg wind relieving pose on the right. This time I'm going to rock the baby. My left hand grabs that right foot, right hand, right knee. Rock the baby. This is going to get deeply into that hip. That feels good. I feel like hips are a universal challenge for most of us. I'm going to take both hands interlaced on the right blade of the foot. Flex, gently pull it in. And then I'm going to take right foot steps to left thigh. Left hand takes right knee over. Single leg spinal twist. This time focus more on the shoulder staying grounded. You could gently pull the right knee over. You could flex and keep it straight. Ooh, at a right angle. Back to the sky. Thighs to chest, little boat or circles. Let's take left leg in, right leg extends. Single leg wind relieving pose. Now I want to rock the baby. Right hand grabs left blade, left hand left knee. Rocking side to side. We usually do this upright. This is just another variation coming into reclined pigeon eventually. Both hands interlace on the blade of the left foot. Finally, left foot touches down the right thigh. Right hand takes left knee over. Single leg spinal twist, keeping that left shoulder down and maybe even look out over the left hand. If it's really intense, you can stick the blocks under that top left knee. You know your body, and I've taken years to embrace the idea that no two hips will be the same. It's okay if my mobility on one side is different than the other. That is handedness, and that is samskara or habits in our lives. Back to center, little boat or circles. Let's take our strap, hopefully you have it near you. Take our feet in the air for a moment. And just start to roll out the ankles. Remember that connection between ankle mobility and hip mobility. And I often forget this, so I know other times when we're together, we'll spend a lot more time on ankles. Fan the toes. Squeeze and release your feet. So can you make fists and then spread your toes? Point and flex. Let's help our legs fall wide for a moment and see what our natural inner thigh mobility is. Maybe massage a little bit. Maybe hold your inner knees. Maybe hold your outer knees. Maybe hold your big toe. Or, my favorite, arms to a T, the gravity stretch. 3 breaths here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Help close your legs. Right leg's going to stay in the air. Left leg lower. Your choice, straight or bent. And give that right leg a massage. Point and flex. Roll at the ankle. Then we're going to take our strap to the ball of our right foot. And just start to stir that leg. Check in with your body. Is there tension in the hamstring or hip or IT band today? Both straps in the right hand. Release the weight of that leg out to the side. I'm using my left hand to keep that left hip from tipping. And then I'm going to pause. Let's take 3 breaths here. Left hand stays on the left hip or out to a T. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Lift that leg to the sky. Strap into the left hand. Flex. We're going to take it 1 inch to the right. Sorry, to the left. Your choice to see what's your range of motion. Maybe you want to take it further over. Love that. And then all the way back to the sky. Get rid of the strap. Thighs to chest, little boat or circles. Okay, we're almost done on the floor. Feet in the air, right foot flex, lower that leg out of the way. Massaging left leg on its own. Point and flex, roll out the ankle. Strap to the ball of the left foot. Your choice. You can make little circles. Sometimes I like that. I feel it all the way down to my hip. Or sometimes I add resistance, gently pulling the strap down, pressing heel to sky. Both straps come into the left hand, release that leg to the left. Right hand's gonna hold right hip down, and let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. And inhale 3. Exhale. Take that leg back up to the sky, strap into the right hand, flex. 1 inch to the right, check out that IT band. Some of that goes all the way down to the hip and lower back. Back to the sky, get rid of the strap, little boat or circles. Let's try our happy baby one more time. Hands behind the thighs, choosing to stay here. Oh, that is easier. And find that rhythm. Remember our vestibular, our inner ear. Can you go all the way over and stop yourself? That's using core. Soles of feet together, bind. Gently pull your feet towards you, pressing lower back into the floor. Feet to the floor, soles together, knees out to the side. Arms in cactus, we love this pose, recline goddess. And another variation, if you love this pose, this is a nice calming pose. You might take a block underneath each knee just to support the hips as they're opening, especially if it's the beginning of your practice. Give a little massage. You might stick a heated, one of those flax pillows on your belly. Some people like the weight of a pillow on their upper arms and their belly while they're here. And then close your legs, thighs to chest, little boat or circles. And let's quickly do shoelace before we turn upright. So right over left, hands on opposite knees, pull them into your belly. Instantly I notice that connection between tension in my glute, hip, lower back. Option to walk your hands further down the legs, but you don't want the shoulders to come off the mat. And release, shake it out. Other side, left over right, line up the thighs, line up the knees, hands on opposite knees, pulling them into your belly. Walk the hands down the ankles. Option to try to grab your feet. And then release, shake it out. We're gonna roll into a ball on our side, take a pause. And then press yourself upright. Our first upright pose is going to be a wide leg extended child's pose. Let me go here in the way. This is my go-to. It's for hips. It's also for helping the upper back behind the heart, especially if you're at a computer all day. So I'm going to keep the toes touching, knees wide, coming into conventional child's pose, or puppy, if this is uncomfortable for you. I'm gonna walk forward. I'm gonna imagine my chest come to the floor, forehead down, or I'm looking forward. You have a choice. Two more breaths here, pressing the heart towards the earth. And then coming upright. We won't be doing our traditional sun salutations today. I wanted to focus specifically on hips. I'm noticing that my friends who work at a desk are working way more than normal during COVID versus the people who don't work. Let's do our frog. So I'm going to come into tabletop. I'll do this facing you. I'm going to walk my knees as wide as it feels good. For some of us, depending on mobility, it's not a comfortable position. I turn my feet out flexed, inner arches to the floor. If flexed feet is unavailable to you, you're relaxing your foot. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna come onto my forearms into Sphinx. Butt is in the air. So forward, give yourself a little holiday, push your bum back. There's the stretching of the inner thighs, inner hips. For some people, your inner knee, this is uncomfortable because of the hardness of your floor, and you might want to put a folded blanket underneath it. Forward, and I can feel myself going a little wider. Woo! Guess what? This is to remind you when we run our back. Forward, press your bum back. And one more time, forward gently, and then press your bum back. You could stack your fists and stay here, or if it's really uncomfortable, you're gonna come out. Let's take 3 breaths. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. And then upright. I would say that in the world of yoga poses or asana, hip work is probably my favorite, and I feel like there's the most variety. So today we're going to touch on some, and then maybe tomorrow we'll do part 2. We're going to come back into the mermaid we did at the very beginning, and hopefully you'll notice a change in your range of motion. So I'm in tabletop. I'm going to pivot my feet to the left and then sit down behind that right heel. 2 variations. I might pull it in nice and tight, nestling the inner right foot into my inner left thigh, sit up nice and straight. Or if I want it a little more intense, I could move the feet away from me, flex blades. Now I'm in half swastika, or I can bring it in really tight mermaid. You're going to decide. The work comes, this is where it's tight. As I imagine this left sits bone coming down to the earth, I'm imagining straightening the spine. I might resist into the floor. And I'm looking now, I see I'm wearing dark clothes on a dark mat. I'm sure that's hard for some people to see the variations. Oh, but this is super intense in this left hip. If I need a break, I'm gonna lift up, let it take a break, and then come back down. So you might come in and out of it a couple times. One more variation we did the other day is right palm down, left arm up, deep stretch. Oh, yeah. And then come back down. Excuse me, let's switch sides. Feet pivot to the right. Your choice, nestled in or flexed it away from your body. Now imagining that right sits bone coming down into the earth. I think of a pole running down through my body. I'm going to tend my fingers and resist the earth while pressing right sits bones down. If this is hurting your knee or hip, please ease off. Watch your ankle as well. So you might come up, let it go, and press it back down. Our hips are a pretty amazing thing. I can continue doing this. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Option to do this pose. I'm going to take left hand to the floor, reach up, lift that hip, the right hip towards the front room, and then come back down. I'm going to come into diamond for a moment. Diamond means my feet are quite a bit in front of me. If I pull it in, we're in bound angle. Oh. You might bind your actual feet and sit upright. Gently press knees to the earth. You might take one hand. I'm noticing this side is tighter than the other, so I might gently add a little bit of counter pressure, but I don't want to torque on my body. Okay, here's my favorite. We're going to use blocks. Maybe I'll face the side so you can see the side profile. We have done this, I'll show you without blocks and with blocks. We've done it both ways. Without blocks, I'm coming into tabletop. And I'm going to bring these arms, wrist under shoulder, on the inside of my right leg. So I'm going to step right foot beside right hand. Just here is enough stretch for some of us. Today I'm going to bring the blocks. Blocks underneath my palm. I've elevated the floor. And I'm going to press right inner arch into the right block. Left knee is either up and down, I'm almost like in a lunge, or I can inchworm it back and untuck. Staring forward, I can choose to stay here, or tuck the left foot and lift. I'm on the ball of that left foot, looking forward. Some of us, actually let's come back out, undo, leave your hands here, extended child's pose. Forehead to the mat, tailbone towards your heels. And back up. Now we're going to do the other side. Left inner arch beside left block. Press that left inner arch into the block, just like we're going to press our left inner knee into our left bicep. There's that isometric pressure. Oh, I can feel the difference. You can just physically make the shape, or you can add that almost invisible pressure. Inchworm right leg back. Either untuck that ankle or tuck and rise. Squeezing inner thighs to center. I'm staring at the top of my mat. I really want to keep my spine in line. Keep trying to squeeze those thighs together, even though it's impossible. Right knee down, untuck, press back, extended child's pose. Possibly forehead to the mat, bum towards your heels. Okay, one more variation. Let's come back to tabletop. Right inner arch beside right block. Pressing that right inner knee into your right bicep. Option to stay here or attempt to come down lower without that right knee moving out of alignment. Oh, I might bring these blocks up a level. I'm just going to be honest. Palms together. Pressing inner right knee into right bicep, staring forward. Now, if you do it in front of a mirror, it's great. You can see if your knee is stacked properly or not. You might inchworm that left leg back, making it deeper, or you might tuck and rise, pressing it all to the center. Where's that imaginary center line? Left knee down, undo, extended child's pose. Back up. We're almost ready to come to our pinnacle pose. Left foot beside left block. Choosing to stay here, or come down to hands together in prayer, looking forward, or extend right leg back, or tuck and rise. So this tie is dramatically tighter for me. I'm not going to stay here long. Knees down, extended child's pose. I might flip these down because I love this extended child's pose. Now, even juicier is if you had someone to come along and gently add some pressure to your lower back, imagining your bum coming towards your heels, depending on your back. Back upright. Okay, here we are. Pigeon. Let's do it from the side as well as from the front. So the first variation, we're going to do your choice, swan or pigeon, coming into tabletop. Right knee slides forward towards right wrist crease. Left leg extends back. Option to pivot that right ankle around and coming into pigeon. To prevent myself from dumping into the right glute, I'm going to take a block underneath my right glute. I might stay upright. There's the back bend. I might come into Sphinx. I might stack my fists. And then upright. I'm going to press back into tabletop. Left knee forward, right leg back. There's my swan. Option to pivot that right foot, sorry, left foot. I'm going to do it in front of you. Option to pivot that left foot on a diagonal. Coming on the top of that foot, sliding right leg back. Not dumping into this left glute, so I'm going to stick that block underneath there. Shoulders are squared off, hips are squared off. Choosing to come into Sphinx or stack fists. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. And inhale 3. Exhale. Upright. And I'm going to take the lazier way. Take that block out of the way. Swing the leg around. And I'm back into my original sweet seat. So, today, let's read one of these happy cards before we wrap up this class. Oh, I like this one. This is very positive, and especially for some reason this week I'm hearing a lot of my friends feeling pretty down. So I want you to think about this. This is directed at you. Everything is working out for the highest good, for my highest good. Trust that even in challenging times, the universe only wants what's best for you. If I walk through the world in my days, this thought, the best will happen to me. I notice some people are biologically glass half empty and some people are glass half full. Maybe try to work on being glass half full. There's your homework. If you catch yourself saying something that's not that motivational, that positive, can you stop yourself and halt it and realize everything is working out, or hoping? What is the phrase I've heard? Imagine the whole world is conspiring for you to succeed. Thank you so much for your effort. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon. The good in me sees the good in you. Namaste.